So, in this video today, we're going to be talking about Group of 5 programs in football that should be demoted to the FCS. Like, teams who've been struggling in the Group of 5 who cannot have success, that are constantly failing at the G5 level, that I think should be demoted to the FCS. Due to bad coaching, no lack of success, lack of bowl appearances, and stuff like that. So we're going to start with Charlotte. Charlotte is in the heart of recruiting when it comes to football in North Carolina. North Carolina is a football recruiting hotbed, especially for NFL talent in high school. And they're in the city of Charlotte, a great growing market. But Charlotte football has not seemed to have success. They're usually having constant losing seasons. They're just not a very successful program. So they did hire Tim Albin. I don't know how you say his name, the coach from Ohio, which I think is a great hire. Maybe that could turn Charlotte football around. We'll see. I don't know. Charlotte's not really known for a football powerhouse in the Group of 5 or anything. We're going to start with FAU. Yeah, they've only been FBS here recent in the last decade or two. FAU is just not a successful program, along with FIU. I mean, FIU had Mario Cristobal, which they had a couple good seasons. But both programs are in the Miami area. South Florida is one of the best recruiting beds for football, NFL talent. Neither school can compete with the likes of Florida, Florida State, UCF, and USF. It's just FIU don't have the funds, the resources to compete. Yes, they're in the heart of Florida of recruiting. When it comes to college recruiting, NFL talent comes out of Florida, especially out of the Miami area, South Florida. It's just neither of them can handle it. The next team I'm going to name is obvious. It's Temple. Temple has not had success in 20, 25 years? I mean, they've had a couple good, maybe a couple 10-win seasons here and there. Temple has been like bottom of the barrel in the AAC. At one point, they were in the Big East, known as back when the Big East was a power conference. Temple is always constantly losing. They're good. Every time they do get success, their coach gets picked up by a Power 4 team. Temple's not really a known, well-successful program like they used to be. Yes, they are in Pennsylvania, a football recruiting ground. They're in Philadelphia, a great market. It's just Temple is not that good. Another team I'm going to name, well, two, is both New Mexico schools, New Mexico and New Mexico State. They're not really successful. New Mexico, I think, had a better season than New Mexico State. New Mexico State is by far the worst out in the Group of 5. They do lack bowl appearances. They just can't seem to get their foot in and stuff like that. And the team I'm going to name is Eastern Michigan, one of the worst teams in the MAC. Well, they're not the worst. They're one of. They've had maybe a couple winning seasons. Their best coach they ever had was Chris Creighton. That's their best coach they've had. It's just Eastern Michigan is they're just one of the worst programs. They can't seem to compete. They just have constant losing seasons, lack of bowl appearances. They can't seem to compete in recruiting, especially in the state of Michigan with your likes of Michigan, Michigan State, any other Power 4 program and stuff like that. The next program I'm going to name is obvious is Kent State. Kent State's had nothing but lack of success in the group of 5. They've had constant losing seasons, lack of support, and they're just not a good football program. They've had, one player in the last 20 years been successful is James Harrison for the linebacker of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great linebacker, a legend, by the way. So I think Kent State should be demoted to Division II. They're so bad that Kent State is so fucking bad that they should be demoted to Division II. I don't even think they'll stay alive and compete in the FCS. They're that bad. That's how bad Kent State really is. I think they're so bad, they should be demoted to the Division II league. The next program I'm going to name is Akron. They're actually successful in basketball. I'll give them that. Now, football, no. They always find ways to lose. Haven't had many bowl appearances. Not very many good coaching hires in the last 15 years or so. Akron's been down to the dumps, which is kind of sad. I don't know who I feel worse out of the two Ohio schools, Akron or Kent State. I say Kent State. Both in the state of Ohio, both in the rich of talent of college recruiting and NFL talent, the state of Ohio. But neither program's any good. The next team I'm going to name, which is obvious, is UMass. UMass has done nothing but lose, and lose. They were independent. Now they're in the MAC. It's just the athletic director and the president of UMass, I don't think they care about football. Do they even know that they have a football program? Do they have short-term memory loss? So they just don't seem to know or notice in any way they have a football program. And their program is that bad. So I think they should be demoted back to the FCS due to lack of success and lack of support and stuff like that. Now with Temple, they did hire Casey Keeler from Sam Houston, which I think is a great hire. Maybe Casey Keeler can turn Temple around. I think UAB should be demoted to the FCS because they've had constant failure and losing seasons. They're always struggling. Have not had any good coaches in the last few years, stuff like that. UAB's another program. Hawaii's another program. Yes, it's in the state of Hawaii, a well-known college recruiting state and NFL-wise to some degree. So they just can't seem to have success in the Group of 5 level. Yes, it's a tractable location. Yeah, they're far from the lower 48 in most programs in the FBS. It's just they struggle to have success. They have one of the worst stadiums in the FBS. I think Hawaii should be demoted to the FCS due to lack of support, lack of care for the program. They're playing in a high school stadium, so it's just bad for Hawaii. So this is my video of Group of 5 programs that should be demoted to the FCS. So this is my video. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and all that fun stuff. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, that's great. I don't care. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and all that. And I'll see you later.